Sorry if the audio's off. I need to get my OBS set up again. There we go. That's the one. No, I don't want to put in a recovery phone. Come on, let me in. Alright, that looks right, I think. I did think there used to be a chat built in here, but maybe not anymore. That's alright. I'll use the one here. Alright, let me test the audio and stuff. Also changed my keyboard, so hopefully that's fine. Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. Also changed my keyboard, so hopefully that's fine. Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is good. I could probably actually turn that up a wee bit. Oh god, now I'm getting infinite loops. Hang on, sorry. I think I'll be alright at this by now. Alright, and then let me do a test typing as well. Typing and talking, test. Let me do a test typing as well. Typing and talking, test. Yeah, it's alright. Keyboard's loud, but I can't really do much about that. Rightio. So, this is not my TypeScript engine series, as you might have noticed. I have been messing around a little bit lately after work with some Unreal stuff, so I thought I might as well stream some of it. I probably will do more on the TypeScript engine at some point, but tonight's not that night. Where does my chat keep going? There we go. Alright, that's good. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a lot to explain what's going on here, but it's basically my interpretation, or I'm mucking around with the idea of my interpretation of modernized Daggerfall, which I'm not sure if anyone knows what that game is, but it's basically a really old Bethesda game. One before Morrowind. Skyrim, and before that was Oblivion, before that was Morrowind, and before that was Daggerfall, which, can I bring up another browser? Daggerfall. When did it release? 1996. So, yeah, it's pretty old, but, yeah, I was playing some of the, there's like a Unity port someone did of it. I don't know, that just got me kind of inspired, so I'm going to see what that would look like, me giving that a shot, kind of making, not Daggerfall itself, but something in similar style. So the biggest thing you probably notice is that, well, maybe not with these small images, but basically it's a mix of, it's a 2D, 3D hybrid. So a lot of stuff is actually sprites, which I quite like the look of. And I'm using placeholder pixel art at the moment, but I'm probably going to switch it to some of my hand-drawn stuff, which I'm not sure if I have any, see if I have any kind of in that style on hand at the moment, but yeah, I kind of want to be hand-drawn, I guess. Where would I even find maybe one? Surely there's something in here I can show just to give an idea of what I'm going for. Not really, it's all on my iPad, I think. Well, here's something that's more stylized than what I'm planning, but you can kind of see the general gist. Yeah, so like a cartoony kind of style for it. So yeah, anyway, it's quite a ramble, but just roll with it. Just yeah, I'll explain stuff as it comes up. But there's not much to it yet. The thing I did last was I wrote this. So this is Unreal 5, by the way. I don't know if I said that yet. Yeah, I'm like almost nervous. It's been so long, but I basically wrote an advanced text generation plugin that I'm using, which basically does what it says, does procedural text generation. And I wrote a Markov chain text generator. I'm not sure if everyone knows what that is, but it's essentially an algorithm that you feed it a bunch of text and it'll learn kind of the patterns of the text. So like which syllables commonly follow other syllables, etc. So I wanted to play around with that because I've never used a name generator like that before. I'm not sure if that's a very common method of doing it, but essentially I wrote this plugin and then fed it a bunch of names I generated from the Fantasy Name Generator, which is a cool website for generating names. And then I guess I can just do a little tour to start off, but so then I basically supply these data assets for the different genders and last names, but it's basically like 1,000 examples of the kind of names and stuff I want to use. I just realized that maybe the UI stuff's a little small actually. I might have to boost that for the next video. But essentially these, so it won't really generate these exact names, it's not just going to pick one of these, but it'll examine each of these and figure out like what the kind of patterns are, like what syllables follow others. And then what I can do then is, I think I broke the example, but you can see the tokens that it generates. So here's a syllable, ROL. And that is often followed by, it seems like the most common one is UR, based on the text I fed it. But also there's all these other ones that can follow it too. And then it just does a weighted selection based on that. It's pretty much all it is. And then the starter token thing is like, have we come across a name that actually starts with that before? Because I don't want to start a name with like a random syllable that isn't actually like commonly found at the start of a name. It doesn't have to be a name. I'm using it for names in this case. But yeah, so I mean that's kind of it really. But so it generates these tokens, and then from these tokens, it will pick a random one of these starter tokens, and then so ROL for example, and then it'll go to ROL and be like, okay, well, let's do a weighted selection on the following, the syllables that could follow that, and then basically just keep doing that. So then we go to ZA, find the suffixes that could follow that, do a weighted selection, etc. And then when it hits one of these blank ones, that means the word's over. So what happens is sometimes it will generate incredibly long names, which is something I'll probably fix at some point. But anyway, That was probably way too much detail, but that was one of the cool things I've done. You can see at the moment I'm just using like basic pixel art to just have something to work with while I figure out what the art's going to look like. Is there anything else of note? It's all just kind of normal stuff. Interaction system, inventory system, some of the generators, HUDs. Yeah, there is a cool skill system. Well, I think it's kind of cool. You know what, it's pretty standard. Maybe it's not that cool. The cool thing about it is it'll basically use the asset registry to scan for skills. So if I want to add a new skill to the game, all I need to do is just go into this folder and create a new skill asset and give it a name and a level up chance and whatnot. And the code will just automatically find that skill, which I thought was quite cool. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, there's really honestly not a lot going on right now, but I can play what I have. So you can see it detected the skills up here: lockpicking, one-handed riding, two-handed, unarmed. It's first person. Oh yeah, I did a procedural dungeon generator too. It's also not very good, but it is technically procedural. If I fly up inside it. Oh, was only one tool? I didn't realize that. Yeah, I need to extend that out, but essentially these would be like corridors of the dungeon. I do this with a, what do you call it? It's probably like an official term for this, but I call it a walker. Yeah, pretty much like there's a 2D grid, like a multi-dimensional array. You can think of like a Sudoku board or something like that, chessboard. And then I just go through, I put a walker at one position on the board, which I think is always 0, 0 by default. And then every time this loop updates, wherever the walker is gets turned into a floor, and then the walker will decide whether or not to pick a new direction. And if it does pick a new direction, well, regardless if it picks a new direction. So, sorry, let me start again. So, go through all the number of tiles, like the floor tiles we want. So we might want a big dungeon or a small dungeon. Put a walker in, or you can put multiple, and I just put one in. Then everywhere that the walker is in that 2D grid, we convert that to a floor, and then there's a chance for it to change direction, and then it just moves forward in the direction that it's picked, basically up, down, left, right, and just does that a whole bunch of times. Essentially, which means there's like, you can imagine like a snail kind of moving around a chessboard, you know, it kind of like creates a kind of interlocking path like that. Obviously, if it walks over somewhere it's already generated, it'll just stay a floor. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. It's not particularly intelligent, but you know, it's fine. It creates some interesting-ish layouts. It's not very good at creating rooms. For that, I'd probably want to drop a like a room walker, which would, you know, generate, like, not do this kind of like hallway kind of style. It would generate slightly differently. And you can also have multiple walkers. So you could have two start here, and one walks off this way, one walks off this way, and then it kind of just changes the way it generates. Anyway, I don't actually use that in the game right now, but, well, to be fair, there is no game, but yeah. So that's what all that stuff is up there. Then basic interaction system, this is doors, and this was just me messing around with some sprites, like how it would look with the 2D, 3D hybrids. So obviously the walls in floor are 3D, but then stuff like this coin pile and this enemy, very ugly enemy, it's supposed to be a mummy, looks. So that's kind of the like, not the like the pixel art I'm probably going to get rid of, but that's kind of the look I'm going for, I guess, the 2D 3D hybrid. And that was what originally inspired me to make something. I was playing Daggerfall because it has this 2D 3D hybrid. It was probably more of a performance thing back in the day, but yeah. Anyway, that's basically what we have. These guys I was just working on. They don't do anything yet, but these are going to be NPCs that walk around the city, and they have data that gets generated, and they get added to like a big dictionary. And then, yeah, so they use the name generator stuff I was talking about, where they get a first name and a last name, and a gender, and a race, and we'll have factions. So yeah, the race is what determines the name generator. So you can see, I think I showed the orc one, but maybe there's a human here. That's also an orc. And that's also a female orc. Okay, so we've got all female orcs, that's lovely. Female orc. We got a male orc. I don't know why orcs are more common. They should have the same chance as humans. Unless I messed something up. I think I messed something up. These are still all orcs. And obviously the visuals don't actually kind of go with what race it is or anything just yet. Oh, also webcam. Yeah, I put that on. Let me know what you think of it. Yeah, I think I messed this up. Why is this always generating orcs? The ID is changing. And it can generate females. It's actually, I think it's because these don't load properly, these race things. So if I open this and then close it, does that do it? Wait, I think that'll do it. Hang on. Orc. Well, this is embarrassing. Really? What is going on here? Okay, this is messed up. Let's have a look. So maybe I didn't actually compile this yet. The generator. Oh god, where did I do this? This is in the mobile NPC. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing most things in C++, by the way. I will do a little bit of Blueprint probably, but yeah, so I think for testing just on begin play, yeah, if there's no NPC ID, I should probably zoom this in actually. Hang on. Let me do this, make it a little bigger. This is Rider, if you haven't seen it before. It's my editor of choice. Appearance, 150% maybe? Yeah, there we go. It's quite big, but it'll probably be better for YouTube. Cool, so we did in fact recompile, so I must have had some changes there. That's probably why it wasn't working. Or it's still broken, we'll see. Man, what the hell? Hang on. Let me breakpoint this, because this will generate 100 NPCs. Orc. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a problem. So, let's see. I think, so we get the database, we register the new NPC, we generate it with this function, static function. One less than the number of races, which means that either this isn't working or yeah, we do set the race and use that. Okay, so it must be in here, I think. So we do a similar thing with the @set registry. We just load it and add it. That should be fine. Let me check the settings then. I did not expect to immediately start bug fixing, but races, directories is there. That looks right, and we cook it, and we have humans and orcs, and time to start debugging. So it's kind of annoying, the process with Unreal. Live coding makes it a little bit better, but it's not as instant as TypeScript was, or Unity if you've used that before. I'll need to run this in debug mode to actually hit breakpoints. But essentially, I think I want to check what's going on here. Let's see, ID list. I don't see any immediate problems here. Gotta wait for this to reboot. Yeah, so if it's not here, it'll be in the generator, I suppose. And if that got filled with 2 races, then it would be 0 to 2 minus 1, which is 1. Should pick a proper race, set it there. Then we get the default objects for the particular gender. Yeah, no, all that looks right to me. Right, so we should get a breakpoint this time. Reference. Wait. What is this? We got an exception. Oh. It's because the genders aren't loading correctly, and potentially the races. So I had this problem with something else. What was it? Full screen widget manager, no. Something to do with widgets. If I can find it, I'll show you how I fixed it. It was a soft object reference somewhere that was not loading correctly. Something to do with inventory. Yeah, I think. No, it wasn't this. I don't think it would be the inventory. I believe it was these skills. No, that appears to work too. So that gets all the genders. The genders has, yep, just that. The race. I'm assuming this is coming back empty then. I don't have a check for it because I'm still undecided, honestly, whether I prefer a program to crash when something's wrong or just silently fail and then other shit can get broken. Because if you do that, if you silently, like if you put a check in to say if this, just don't worry about it, then you can get into situations where it can be really hard to debug stuff because it looks like it's working but it's actually not. So these days I kind of prefer it to just crash as soon as something goes wrong, or as soon as something I don't expect happens. So let's see if we can see what's happening here. Okay, no, it did find them. There's the 2 things, male and female. Then we go ahead and add them. Wait, that didn't actually add it, did it? Nope, that did not add it. Which means, that's right, I remember what the problem is. We need to not do a check here, basically, because the validness of a soft class pointer, that's right, is based on whether, as far as I can tell, based on whether the asset's loaded or not. So let's look at that skill thing again, because I think I put in a... No, I just ignore it, yeah. So I could do a valid check, but again, I'll just let it crash if something goes wrong. So we actually want this and the same for races, because the code is pretty much the same for both. So race, CPP, yeah. So because that's not loaded, it's actually running false on that. That if check, that inline thing, is like a one-liner to both do the if check, like assign the object, and then also do an if check on the result. Should be good now, potentially. Lol, is that a missing semicolon I just read? Oh yeah, it's clipped off the end, I can't see. Been a while since I've had one of those. And then we'll boot it up. You know what, let's just boot it up in debug. It runs a little slower if you do that, but it means you have breakpoints. There is a way to attach after the program's already running, but I don't remember how to do that. You do it through here, but I couldn't never get it working, so. Yeah, anyway. We'll see if that works, and then I just want to kind of work on this NPC stuff, maybe get them moving around and whatnot. Wait for the sprites to load in. So now if I hit it, it's not going to crash, and we should get some humans in here. Come on, human, there we go, jeez. Alright, good. So you can see kind of the flavor of the human generator. It's like, I think it's based on Roman names. And you get some gnarly long ones like Calculcabor or Casey Stantius. That's because of the Markov generator, the thing I was showing at the start where it like does the vowel stuff. What I'm thinking of doing is like making it like less, like for each vowel it picks, it's less common. Like there's a chance to just end the word for every vowel that gets added. That chance will increase, and eventually it'll just stop if there's too many vowels. But yeah, for now. So these guys should get their data assigned correctly. Male human, yeah. That looks good. That looks good. Mish is a last name. Or Mick. Shiz Gozerbush. Female orc. Okay, cool. Sorry, bump my mic. So that's good. So then, let's see, what do I need to do next? I basically want to be able to talk to these guys. I have an idea for a really cool dialogue system. Probably has been done before, but I want to give it a crack. Yeah, but it'll be hard to explain, so I'll just basically do it. So now that these guys are here, I want to be able to basically interact with them and talk to them. So I have an interaction system. So if we come back to the code, I'm actually going to make this slightly smaller. Hopefully that's okay. I'm on a 1440p monitor and it's quite big like this. There we go. Yeah, so let's see. I got too much stuff open. Mobile NPC. Yeah, so this is the character. It's basically just a capsule, and I assign the sprite in Engine. Actually, I can show you the blueprint for it. There's nothing really there, but so there's no code or anything. It's literally just a sprite, and I might have changed some settings or something. So yeah, some collision settings. Yeah. So the way interaction works, if I remember, it has been a few days, but I basically just add a component to it to do it. The way I normally do this, interaction handler. The way I normally do this is with an interface, but I just basically decided to try it this way this time. Interaction handler, and that could be in components. And we need to initialize it. Okay. And we don't need to set up attachment because that is an actor component. So now we have this, we can basically bind to it. Add unique, and I believe it's give it the object. I forget the template for this all the time, but and then type mobile NPC. And then the function we want to call, which is going to be interact. Okay, we got that compile, good. Interact local, I'll call it. And that I believe does need to be a U function. It doesn't need to be exposed to Blueprint, but I believe it needs to be a U function. We'll generate the code for that. And then, yeah, hook it up. Is that not how you do it? Add unique. It's been a minute. Wait, do I not have any in here? Hang on, let me look up the thing for it. I thought it was just at this pointer. Oh wait, this is the wrong. The wrong thing, I believe. Add dynamic, that's the one. And add uniques for arrays. My bad, it's late. There we go. Still no? What's the problem now? So this takes in. Yep, the object. Yep. That looks right to me. And dynamic. Just show me a use case quickly. Yeah, what the hell? What's the problem? Oh, is that I haven't... No, it's not that. Track local is a dispatcher. Import the... Yeah, wait, what the hell? I have the syntax correct. Okay, let's look at another one. So we have the door. The hell, does that line of code not look exactly the same as what I have? What a stupid mistake I made here. This might just be a writer thing. Something weird is going on, I think. Let me just build it and see what happens. Fun C++ stuff. Oh my god, does it take parameters? I'm stupid. I bet it does. Yeah, it does. God damn it, that's why. It's trying in a really C++-y way to tell me that it's got the wrong parameters, but instead it gives me this massive thing. So, yeah, not bad. You may have your parameters, sir. And you also may. There we go. Now it's happy. Cool, so we can just log something, I guess. What do we got? 1 second. Color. Red, I guess. And then NPC clicked. I need to put this back up. Hopefully this is somewhat interesting. I'm not sure if it's like going to be too dry for YouTube, but this is the kind of stuff I like tinkering around with at night. So maybe there's other people out there too that enjoy the same type of thing. Alright. So that will happen. We can also grab, we don't really save its data anywhere. Should we do that is the question, because then we have a local copy of the data, which is data duplication in RAM, but also they could get out of sync. You see we have this lookup. Well, actually you can't see because it isn't here, but this ID that it gives back, this register function, there's just a GUID, fGUID. In the database, there's essentially like a map. So the data is already stored in here. I just need to use the getNPC function. So I suppose we do that. However, let's see if the interact component's working. Yep, you can see in the top left, NPC clicked. So that's working. What I want to do is just print their name just to test this out. So I think the ID, we do save that. So I could do, I probably should make a better getter for this. Get NPC with the NPC ID. Go. And now instead, if I just print out, I don't know, their name, for example, I guess. NPC data dots. Huh? What is all this? I don't think it likes being in this function, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, so try and remember how to do this. Format. So this we do first name last. Okay, and then I believe we can just pass through NPC data dots. First name followed by NPC data dot last name. So that will basically substitute the 0th thing here and the 1th thing here. in theory. Okay, good to build. So then if this is fine, the next thing I want to do structured binding. Oh yeah. It's like JavaScript destructuring. It's pretty cool. The next thing I'd want to do is bring up a widget essentially and start building the widget stack. NPC data hides class member. We have a class member called NPC data? We do indeed, that's right, I do cache it already. Okay. In that case, I forgot I already did that just so I can display it. You know how it's showing you on here. But it's not editable. So yeah, it should just work right out of the box then. If this compiles. Compiling is a little bit slow while I'm streaming, unfortunately, but yeah, that's, God knows what that said. That's that person, and that is, we happen to GHOSH, yeah, he happened to generate the same name. It's interesting. I've never seen that happen. Okay, yeah, so that's good. So we are talking to the right person. So now basically I want to bring up a UI. So for that, I have this full screen widget thing, which lives somewhere in the player controller. Okay. First player controller. I can just actually wrap that in case there's no player controller. If there's no player controller, there'd be no. No, I actually want that to crash if that happens. So if there's no player controller, there should be no way you're interacting with this NPC. Full screen. I casted the wrong type. Okay, find components. Use full screen widget manager. Okay. And then we need to create the widget. So let's see. What is this? This is a module. Oh, that's the knowledge stuff. Okay. Let's do it here. So I will do a new user widget. Dialog screen widget. So that'll represent the entire screen while you're in the widget. And yeah, we'll just start with that. I'll probably make some sub widgets too, but we'll start with this. So we'll make it blueprintable. Get that compiled in, and then we can use that. So, so what we can do is actually expose the widget on the NPC itself, the blueprint, so that you could technically have a different dialogue screen, like theme or something, for talking to different NPCs. Do a soft class pointer to a U dialog screen widget. The forward declaration that compiled, very good. Dialog screen widget class. Defaults only, and this will be, I guess, UI category. I'll just initialize it as a null pointer to be safe, and now we should have it so we can say if. So here's the thing, that this is the same problem again. I was about to make same mistake again, is because this is a soft class pointer. As far as I understand it, the validity of this. So if I was just to say like if dialog screen widget class, which is literally about what I was about to write. In fact, I'll write it just to maybe save someone else the pain of this. But if I was going to do this, that would always return false if the wait, what? Oh yeah, we need to import it. Yeah, so this would always return false if this isn't loaded. So it returns false if it's null or it's not loaded, which keeps tripping me up. So what I need to do is not check validity on it and actually just load it. And well, actually there is a way to check validity itself, I believe, through this. But I'm just going to load it, and if it crashes, it crashes. So then we have the actual loaded class, which will be the what do I call it? The dialog screen widget subclass. Widget class, I guess. Okay, and now we just need to instantiate one of these, which we can do through, I think it's ublueprint widget, widget blueprint library. It's hard to remember these libraries sometimes. We need to give it the world, the class, and what was that last thing? Player controller. Yeah, that's it. And then that gives us the actual instantiated widget. So that will be and we unfortunately need to cast that. I wish there was a templated version, and there might be actually. I haven't looked too hard, but we do need to cast it until I figure that out. Okay, so now if everything did not crash in those couple of lines of code, then we can now use this widget manager to open this as a full screen widget. So open full screen widget and give it the dialog screen widget. So just to be super verbose and clear about what's happening here, so get the player controller, then get this custom widget manager I made, which essentially is just the thing in charge of putting the widget on the screen. Then we actually don't do a valid check on the soft class pointer, which just means that it's an asset reference, but it's not loaded into memory necessarily yet. Could be, could not be. So we don't do a check on that because it will return false if it's not loaded. We just load it, and then we get the widget class that we need to spawn, and using that class we then instantiate an actual widget and then put it on the screen. So it seems complicated, but it's not too bad. In fact, what I could do is to make this even easier is probably make a method in the widget manager which just takes in a soft class pointer to a user widget and just does this code for me. But I don't have that just yet. So if I compile that in, we should be good to go. So somewhere, new folder, dialog, and this will be dialog screen widget. I like to start my widgets with UI. And my blueprints with BP. Cool, so now we have this, and this is linked to the C++ code, because I want to, again, this is something I don't normally do on my day job, but I want to experiment with writing pretty much all the code in C++. So that means I'm not really going to be doing any like blueprint graph work here or anything like that. All the code will be pretty much in C++. We'll see. Yeah, cool. So out of interest, does this params actually give me the player controller? No, it gives me the activated it. Okay. So we have this widget which will go on the screen. I don't know exactly what this should look like yet, but I guess I'll put a canvas. I'll just make something really basic to start with. So there'll be that, and for now there will be some text at the bottom. Let's do 50. That will say the name of the NPC. This is that song I hate, by the way. Sounds out of tune to me. Okay. Yeah, so now I need to bind this, and to do that, I believe right after we set this, so the dialog screen widget essentially is going to need to know about some NPC data, which will be which NPC you're talking to. So I guess I passed the whole struct. I don't know, I'm a bit dubious of this, but we'll see. We actually just need to include it. That's fine. We can read it, we can view it, and this will just be, I don't know, just, you know what, no category is fine. Did this not import? What happened? There we go. Cool, so now we've got this set. What we can do is back here, after we create the widget, we can set the data to the data on this NPC. Remember, this class we're in right now is the NPC actor itself, these guys, and then I'm sending it to this widget, which also has a variable called NPC data. Yeah, so now that will know about the data, which means I need to compile first, but then we can bind to that, I think. Pretty sure you can bind to variables inside structs. In other news, I've been learning Latin lately. A new hobby of mine. It's been pretty fun. Wait, what happened here? Wait, problems in NPC data? Okay, I don't know how we were getting away with that for so long, but it didn't know what this type was. I guess I hadn't compiled this class. But yeah, Latin's been fun. I'm a week into it, learning on Duolingo. Let me know in the comments if you know more than one language or have any interest in learning. So see, the problem is here I can bind to just one of these things. So in that case, what I need to do probably is horizontal box this with two text fields, and one will be for the first name and one will be for the last name. And then we can just do that and probably put a spacer in between. I could also write a function in C++ which outputs this as a single string. It's probably the cheaper way to do this, but while I'm here. So that should be binding correctly to the name of the NPC now, and opening this widget. In fact, yeah, you know what? We'll see it. It's fine. I was going to put a blur or something on it, but so if I interact now, oh shit, we crash. Yeah, we're definitely crashing. I think I forgot to set the widget, and because I don't check. See, that's the thing. If I don't check the validity of the soft object reference. No, what I should be doing actually is checking the validity of this. No, this. I believe. And that will stop that crash, I think. Because it will still try to load it. No, I think that's still going to crash. Okay, I'll figure that out later, whatever. So these guys need to know about their, somewhere in the UI section. There we go. They need to know about the widget, which is the thing we just made with the names. Link that up to the NPC so they can open it. And now, no crash, no crash. We have their name appearing at the bottom. So the full screen widget thing, I'd never really explained that, but what it does is it opens the widget, but it also frees up my mouse cursor, stops movement input, look input. I can still move, which I might want to disable too. I have to like right click and drag to look around. And it also sets it so I can like interact with UI. Yeah, so now we can actually see their names. I don't really need to, for debug purposes, I could maybe put their ID there. Nah, that's fine. So now essentially all I need, and the way I want this kind of to work, is let's design something real quick. So there'll be some sort of border essentially. I don't know exactly how I want this to look yet, but let's just say whatever. Then this stuff, this will have a vertical box inside it, I think. And we'll get rid of the padding on here so that the vertical box goes right to the edges. And then we'll do another border for the top, which is where we'll put the name. And the name now obviously will need to be black or something dark, which is kind of ugly, but that's fine. And then, yeah, so that's the name stuff. And then in here, I actually want a scroll box. And an input field at the bottom. What was it? Text something? Text box. And actually maybe we'll do a button with that as well. I have like an enter send. So do that, fill that, then we'll do some text on here on the button, which can be a lot smaller. Can still be bold. And this will be like say, I guess. I don't really know what to call that, honestly. Yeah, and in here you'd write what you want to say to the NPC, just with normal words. Okay, and then the log would basically appear in here. That's essentially what I'm getting at. So for testing, in the scroll box I'll do this. Probably like 12. And regular maybe. Just put a bunch of stuff in here, because these messages could potentially be long. And now we need to wrap it. And then there'd essentially just be a bunch of these messages, which won't look like this, but this will work for now for a demo. So the bottom would have a little bit of padding probably, and yeah, whatever. Which border are we in? Yeah, that one. Okay, so then in this, I'll wrap this with another border, just so I can get some padding in here. Like 10 pixels or something. Okay, and now this whole thing. So I'll turn some of this stuff into its own actual widget soon, probably, but this thing will essentially just live 50 pixels from the bottom, maybe. and be, I don't know, that wide. That looks fine to me. Okay, so now when we talk to them, yep, this is good. Can type stuff in here. I can't really read it very well. And that text is probably a little bit small for the stream. Finally getting into the stuff I wanted to do with the dialogue system. You're kind of seeing where I'm headed with this probably. Yep. This. That's fine, it just needs to be styled, so I'll just set it black for now. And then this also looks too hard to read, this text. Does that look right? Yeah, something like that. Sup, Dark? Yeah, no, the TypeScript engine's still in the background. I haven't done much work on it lately, but yeah, I think we'll go back to it. I'm just kind of taking a little bit of a break. And I thought while I was taking a break, I would show a little bit of what I've been mucking around with at night. Yeah. But no, I still want to do more work on that for sure. Okay, and this needs to be bigger. How you been? Like 20 for that. And honestly, let's just italicize it so that it looks different. Yeah. Some padding would be good too, but yeah, essentially this is the type of system I'm going to build, hopefully, where you actually have to type in phrases such as, oh, wait, speech recognition? What do you, get out of here. It's not going to use actual AI or anything, like it's not going to use like ChatGPT or anything, but essentially they're going to have like a knowledge base of facts they know about the world, and you can basically query them like a database. And I want to see how that works out. Lost steam to work on your own game. Oh yeah, fair enough, that happens. I feel like taking a break is the best way to get inspiration back again for projects. But yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is, one of the things I'm a real stickler for in games is making sure the cursors are set right where possible. Honestly, that stuff's probably fine to not use it, but I do want the... There you go, got the finger now. Cool, so yeah, this is essentially how it's going to work. I'm not sure if I'll make too much more progress tonight, but yeah, at least it says their name. Because the problem is they don't actually have a database of knowledge yet. I guess we could start working on that a little bit. The knowledge base thing sounds cool. Makes me think of Dwarf Fortress. Oh yeah, I think they have something similar, right? I'm trying to remember the dialogue specifically in that game. They have like, no, I can't remember the Dwarf Fortress's one exactly. This is kind of based off, what's it called? Daggerfall, and a little bit of Morrowind, which has the like link clicking, like it'll highlight words for you to click. But this game is just an experiment, and it probably is gonna suck. But there's a few key concepts I want to play with. One is this knowledge-based system for dialogue, but the other like overarching theme is, and this is gonna sound psychotic, so it's just like, just don't hold me at my word here. I might change my mind, but I want players to play this game with a notebook beside them or a notepad or something, or at least I want to see how that works. So like, if a NPC tells you about something or someone else, I'm not actually going to remember that anywhere in the game for you. You need to like decide what information is relevant and what you want to, like you're kind of writing your own quest log essentially. I just want to see how that works out. So like dungeons and that I won't auto map or anything. You actually have to either mark in world with torches or maybe like draw your own map essentially. So yeah, it's pretty I know I probably sounded insane there, but kind of goes against everything that games are these days, but part of me thinks that would be fun, and I don't know whether I'll be horribly wrong or not until I try. So hence this project. So yeah, the knowledge base is kind of a small piece of that overarching kind of thing. So if you query them and they know something about it, they'll talk about it. So it's kind of like Her Story, if you've seen that game before. Last game that made me feel like that was Tunic with its in-game manual. Tunic. Was that language-based game? Tunic. I don't know if I know that one. Oh, okay. The Fox one. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I haven't played it. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably gonna like annoy so many people, but at least as like a, not really a game jam game, but a small scale kind of experimental project. I might learn something about what might work for a future proper game. Oh, that's cool. Unlock pages that manual to how to understand how to play the game. That's interesting. So there might be like features and stuff you didn't even know were a thing until you unlock the page, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is Unreal 5 with C++, by the way, Dark. Hopefully that's of some interest to you still. It's not TypeScript, unfortunately. It's a little more aggravating, shall we say. Yeah, so the knowledge-based stuff, I didn't get very far with actually implementing yet, but I do have a pretty clear idea on what I want to do. Yeah, what are you talking about? I already have the... It does have the things there, yeah. So you can just add claims. The knowledge base is a U object, which is fine. It'll be good for serialization, and I can store it in the data structs. Yeah, that sounds cool, Darko. I've checked that out. Let me, I know I had a pen somewhere. There it is. It's very dark in this room. Come on, paper somewhere. Tunic. I'll check that out. Good reference, thank you. And cheers for tuning in, man. It's good to catch you again. Oh, shit, sorry. Right, let's see if I can make just a wee bit of progress on this, and then I should go to bed, probably. So, add claim. Essentially now then, what I need is every NPC. So I don't have my notes with me right now, but essentially what I wanted is to have NPCs have their own personal knowledge. Or knowledge base. And then I wanted to have like local knowledge, which is basically a knowledge base that isn't on an NPC in particular, but it's shared by like, you know, geographically close people. I guess I would just do village or something. So local knowledge. And that would be like everyone in the town knows there's a cave, you know, to the northeast or something like that. Or most people would know it if maybe their common knowledge stat was high enough. Was wondering if it was you when your stream popped up. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you caught me It's probably about the same time. We've had daylight savings in New Zealand since I was streaming last, so it's actually... which way did it go? Back. No, forward. Get up earlier, go to bed earlier. Yeah, so it would have been 9 PM before. Won't the dialogue be too similar between NPCs this way? Well, they're still going to have their own personal knowledge too. The local knowledge I'm talking about is like a separate thing that adds to their knowledge. So you could ask them about things they know, you could ask them about things that people in their village know, and then also there's like common knowledge, I guess, which is like things that most people in the game would know about. Like, there's a particular dragon called a certain thing or whatever. You could ask them about that. And it doesn't guarantee they'll know about it, but yeah, that's kind of the thoughts. The real trick is going to be that, because it's all procedurally generated, figuring out what search terms you need to use to get the information is going to be the interesting thing. Like, you could get to the end of a dungeon, and part of the treasure could be a cryptic note with just a few words or something on it, you know, and now you need to like what do you do with that? In other games it would be like a quest, and it will just say, hey, go here or whatever. But you need to go around and search villages and try and find people who might know something about that. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I don't know. It's a really hard thing to know if it's going to work or not until I basically do it. But I have a pretty clear idea on how I want it to work. I just don't know if it's going to be fun, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So personal knowledge is things like, I am a orc. You know, I have a wife called so-and-so. Maybe even like secret things like, I am a member of a certain cult in town or something, a certain faction. Yeah, and we have a skill system too, so that I'll probably add skills for certain things like deception or insight to be able to skill check against these things. But yeah, see, I just need to get something working to start with to test this, but I think it'll be cool. I hope it is anyway. Something I don't think I've ever seen before, exactly how I'm thinking of doing it. So we've got this claim stuff. Yeah, so what I needed to do is go to the NPC and make sure every NPC, this is the serialized data of an NPC. Well, essentially, it's the data in RAM, even when that NPC isn't actually like physically loaded, like walking around, we still know about them. So this is that data. They also need a knowledge base. Nice. Personal knowledge. Okay. That, I guess, can be edit anywhere. I don't know if that should be edit anywhere, honestly. I don't... well, whatever. I'll leave it for now. Okay, so they have personal knowledge. Then we have, I believe, a faction somewhere. There's nothing in it, but I'll add that. So a faction is going to have... And a faction is like... if you're familiar with like Skyrim or Oblivion or Morrowind, it'll be like the guilds, essentially. But also not only guilds, but like Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, Thieves Guild. It'll be other like procedurally generated cults or bandit clans or whatever. Will all count as factions, so they'll have a knowledge base that they will share most of the time. We'll just do category knowledge. I don't know. This whole thing is weird. I'm sure there's a reason people don't do stuff this way. what else did I say? There's common knowledge and then local knowledge, and I don't really know how to implement those yet because I don't really have the concept of a village yet. And common knowledge is going to be tough because that's literally everybody in the world has a chance to know one of those things. So I gotta be real careful about what I put in there. That'll be things like, probably things like, you know, the certain plant has medicinal properties or something. It's just like common, like everyone kind of knows that, like aloe vera in the real world. Actually, that's another thing. The magic system is I want to design differently than normal too, but I'll get into that later if I make it that far. I'm basically like making a normal fantasy game, but with every system like completely like backwards from what it normally would be in a game like this. Okay, so that's good. So now basically when I generate an NPC, I just need to give them some knowledge, essentially. They'll also be able to pick up knowledge by being spawned into the world and doing things. How am I going to do procedural generation? Well, there's actually lots of types of procedural generation I'm going to do. So the first method I've got is for, I've got a super basic dungeon generator running at the moment. It's not particularly good or anything, but it is procedural. This is basically like a walker method. I'm not sure if you know about that, but it's like essentially a 2D grid. You put a little spot on the grid, that spot becomes floor, and then the walker will walk in a random direction and then make that floor, and then repeat that like the next tile's floor. And it basically creates this like interlocking corridor system. I'm using Markov chain generation, which is kind of technically procedural generation for the names. So for those, where did I do that? I think it's in the races. So I have the, I basically feed this as many examples of the kind of names I want it to generate or the kind of text I want it to generate, and it'll basically like tokenize that and perform the Markov chain algorithm and generate new words. So it won't just pick a random one of these, it'll generate new words based on the kind of the way these are written. So it'll like kind of break up the syllables and then deterministically, not deterministically, what's the word? Do like a weighted selection on the likelihood that a certain vowel would follow that vowel and kind of run through like that. So those are two. I am gonna try to do, if I can find a spot for it, I want to do something with wave function collapse, because I've never actually had a use case for that before. And then there's procedural stuff like just, I don't know, generating NPCs, for example, is not, I guess, technically procedural generation, but it's pretty, you know, it's not like there's a set algorithm for it, you know. Yeah, it's kind of what I got so far. If there's a particular part of procedural generation you want to ask about, feel free. So basically, so knowledge I could add here would be personal knowledge dot add a claim that, what do I add here? Is that struct? So I'm going to add the claim that that has content, which is just text, blah blah blah. So not happy with that? Why are you not happy with that? Because it doesn't like that I'm doing this as... Is that why? No. Thinking about the procedural knowledge. Yeah, so that is going to be on a case by case. Like, for example, right now I'm going to tell the NPCs that their name, what their name is. So they're going to have a piece of knowledge about, you know, my name is whatever. So that if you're asking, if you use the search term name on somebody, it'll come up with that. The way I handle clashes is going to be interesting. If text from, okay, why can't I? Okay, let's just do if knowledge claim. What is going on? Why can't I inline create it? Do it like that. I don't want to do it like that though. I want to do it like that. Okay, so it is happy with that. From string. Okay, and it's happy with that too. Okay, I don't know. I thought that errored before, but so now we're gonna do if text. Actually, let's just do format. My name is, and then God damn, the syntax is a nightmare. What is the problem? Why is this having a panic? If I feed it 2 strings, no, it's still not happy about something. And is cannot convert. Is it not like that I use text here? Oh, the first parameter is format. Oh my god. Let's do. I need to get this syntax right. So if text from string, the string is going to be if string format, and for that we'll use some text and then some ordered stuff. So. Okay, there we go. First claim. And yeah, this is the part I think you're asking about, how I proceduralize this. Basically, I'm going to have to generate, either use Markov chain or use the advanced text generator plugin, and create some new text generation methods which have templates like this. So it'll pick from a pool. But let's just keep it basic for now. They're going to add the claim that that's their name. They'll be able to tell me their race. Problem is I need the word race in there for it to kind of work, to be searchable under the term race. So I might need to expand these claims to where they have the content, but they also have search terms. But for now, we'll just do my race is race dot. I think I call it display. No. Default object dot display name. course that's text, so now I get toString, holy crap. And then I'll quickly do one for gender as well. Gender. Yeah. Sounds like lots of fiddling around with generators. Yeah, pretty much. That's essentially what it's going to be. I'm going to keep it pretty, like, not fancy though to start off with. Like, it's literally going to just be like a factual back and forth. It's not going to have like a ton of flavor text or anything. It's more like you're a detective in this world interrogating for the right information, or you know, trying to essentially get them to say the information you need, more so than having like a conversation necessarily. That will require a lot more fanciness with the phrases here. But anyway, so they now should have personal knowledge, as long as I actually initialize it. I didn't do that. Make it a new knowledge base, and the outer... Can I get the world from here? Shit, what's the outer gonna be? Guess it's gonna have to be null, which is ugly and might be a problem. Sci-fi detective game that did something like this as well. I'm not sure. I'd love to see it though, if there is, yeah. Okay, so we should have that ready to go. Compile that in, hopefully. Now all I need to do is Shadows of Doubt. Okay. I'm not sure if this is how their dialogue works or not. I do have Shadows of Doubt though. I just can't remember. Let's have a quick look. They did some really cool procedural stuff with this though. I do know that. Like the way cases are generated and stuff. I think it like simulates a city for a certain period of time. I need to see them talk to someone though. That is a good point. I don't know if this has straight up dialogue, does it? Or does it? I'm trying to remember actually talking to someone. It's usually through notes and stuff. Procedurally generate, yeah, the whole, like, the way the story and everything works is super cool. It's like a simulated city that runs for a certain amount of time, kind of like how Dwarf Fortress does, and certain murders will happen or whatever, and then it plonks you into the city, and it's like, hey, a murder happened, and the realistic evidence and everything will get left because the NPC actually simulated doing the thing. Yeah, pretty cool. Did we compile? No. Cannot open. Wait, what? Can't open knowledge base. No, that all looks good. Okay, usually when I get errors like this, I'll just close down and do a manual build, just in case something got corrupt. No, there is actually a problem here. Okay, so why... Maybe I'll regenerate. Unless we have some sort of circular dependency going on with the references. Oh god, I should not have started build in the middle of this. So I just added that to NPC data, and that has the knowledge base, yeah. knowledge base. Looks right to me. Cannot open include file, like what? Expected an include at the top of the header file that follows all other includes. Yeah. That's, I believe, what I had. Put it back in. Oh god, I missed the thing. It's not gonna like that. Yeah, it can be C++, it is a little tough. Errors, yippee, yeah, that's the way. Yeah. No, that's from the first build. Can be pretty hit and miss sometimes, like getting stuck in the weeds with stuff like this. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I'm not the super best with C++ either. But yeah, we make do. I don't, however, know why suddenly it's having a panic about this. So if I look back at NPC data then, wait, no, what did I do? Add claims fine. It was this essentially. And then the generator. Generator was not happy either. How's it going, Pixapple? Welcome in. Has been a while. This is also why I should really be using source control so I can undo this stuff really quickly and test. What do you mean this is not? Knowledge base. I think it might be because it's in a different module. If that's the case, what I'll do is actually just move it to the right module. Well, not the right module, but the main module. And then I just have to change the API. And then probably a bunch of headers as well. The claim probably should go too if that went though. Knowledge base, yep. So then we go here. We don't need to go into that module anymore. And we actually don't need that include at all right now. How you been, Pixapple? Good to see ya. The TypeScript engine is still going to be developed. I just am taking a wee break from it at the moment. And I thought while I was taking a break, I'll show you guys what I kind of do when I'm not normally streaming. Yeah, see, I think it's this module had a panic because of live compile. So if I put this in the main module, which I was kind of trying to avoid, to be perfectly honest, but we should be able to get this back into a compiling state. Very good. Yep, that's the one. Cool. No errors, no gain. That's the one. Yeah, no, it was just because, yeah, I was trying to use this other module, and something I think got messed up. Actually, what I should have done, in case you guys face that error, I wish I tried it, but it's too late now. This intermediate file, sometimes you can delete that and the saved, and it'll clear out any cached, this is where it like stores, I don't know exactly where in here, but somewhere in here it stores the, the generated files when it compiles. Okay, so we should be compiled. Yep, we're good. Wait, yeah, we're still good. So now I just need to bring that stuff back again. So in the generator, we bring, actually I'm gonna regenerate those lines because I wonder if Rider messed something up. Or like auto included the wrong thing or something. So we want knowledge base. I would have loved to have that as a forward declare, but okay, and then NPC data needs the knowledge base, needs to have a knowledge base. I can forward declare that apparently, so I will. Did I miss any? What the hell's going on here now? Knowledge claim, yep, that's good. I might just convert these to strings, honestly. I did text for localization, but oh, it did compile. Okay, so Rider's just having a bit of a hissy about those. Okay. How's it going, Sheikh? Welcome in. What is the problem in here? Oh, it's a bad problem too. Oh dear. What I'm actually going to do is make this a string and also TRA search terms, so I can manually add search terms. Will be good. Right, that's not text anymore. Equals other docs content. It will count as the same. So the function I have is NPC generator. Yeah, generate NPC. Yeah, I guess it doesn't like this, huh? Okay. So what this needs to be then is I need to get rid of from string. Probably did a little bit much in one line here, if I'm completely honest. Because now it wants I don't know if I can just do it like this, can I? Nah, I'm getting too carried away with the things here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit more verbose about this. Oh, wait a second, we hadn't imported that. Oh yeah, of course we didn't. Oh no, yeah, of course we need to, because now we're doing it in here, in line. Okay, so let's take out the search term thing, just so I don't have to deal with this for a second. And because I'll make some helper functions to do this nicely, I think. Actually, I didn't check. Yeah, we should compile here now. Good. Weesh. What an effort to get that working again. Goodness. Yeah, hopefully this is something you guys might be interested in. I don't know. I'm sitting here doing this anyway, so I figured you might want to see a little bit of game dev stuff. This is an incredibly experimental project though. I've explained to Dark about what's going on here. You'll be able to rewatch in the video, but yeah, it's okay. So we had a problem here. I don't think it likes this null pointer, does it? No, it hates it in fact. So what the heck context do I give here then? I guess when we generate an NPC we need the world, but that doesn't feel right. No. These all require world context objects. God damn it. Okay, we're gonna have to do it this way then. So in here, what was the, do it like this. So now we actually have a world context object, which means I could just, whatever, use that. It doesn't like that it's const though. Fair enough. It does imply it's going to change it, which is scary, but that I think will be fine. So it'll depend on the world context we pass in now. It should be fine. Although I didn't check the uses of this. So we need, yeah, well the world context here can be this for sure. This is an NPC. And it looks like, yeah, that's all. The one I have in Blueprint and the level blueprint should default to self, and I believe the level blueprint is able to get the world. So we should be good there. Nice. So yeah, I need to make a nice setup for these two things because I want the content of this knowledge to be searchable by different terms. The search term shouldn't necessarily have to be within the content itself. I think that'll work better because otherwise, like, you imagine a person with the knowledge that contains, like, a whole bunch of them might contain the word like name or the, for example. You shouldn't really be able to search terms by like, search knowledge by like really common terms like that. So I'll probably limit it to specified search terms. Yeah, so I just need to see if this is gonna work now. So the level blueprint, this supposedly has a world context, but it's gonna default to self, I think. Pretty sure that's what the meta thing does, wherever I put that. In the header here, this. But we shall see. See if we get a crash again. Nope, we're good. Cool. So we've got the thing still working, very good. And now they should actually know who they are, what race they are, and what gender they are, and potentially be able to tell me about it if I ask the right question. So I will see if I can quickly get this done. I did want to go to bed, but I'll quickly try to jam through this as quick as I can. Yeah, so these messages, so we're going to need a new C++ class, user widget. Oh god, I just called that my class. Not what I wanted. Dialog response widget. No core redirect. And we'll do abstract and printable. Okay, this got updated, very good. Get that sent in, but I know for sure we're gonna need some data here. We're gonna need, we'll call it speaker name or something, and then response content. Make those readable. No category. Okay. And now the dialog widget is going to need to know about the response widget it should use. So tself class pointer, in fact, there's no pointer to self class here. Let's just do dialog response widget. We'll declare it. And that's put it under UI. Oops, I just pinged my end key off. Lovely. Oh good. Hopefully I muted that in time and didn't blow your eardrums. Sorry about that. I sneezed. Okay, so let's do also a constructor. And we'll implement that. And we'll set this to a null pointer. What else does it want? MVC data? Just nothing. That works. And yeah, so those should be bindable now. That should be there. Yeah, okay, so this will get us going. The dialog response widget is basically going to represent this thing I've got in green right now. The actual kind of message. I saw that just failed as well. Wait, why did we fail? What happened? User widget, no appropriate default constructor is available. Oh, you can't have. Okay, that's fine. There's probably some special type of constructor, I'd imagine, in what user widget I'm supposed to be using. Yeah, but fuck that. Right. So we're going to need also some functions to add the messages. Response widget. There. There we go. And for now, I'll just copy what we have here into this. Okay. and I can actually bind the content. Let's just do this. Combine the content to response content, which is just the message that gets put in here. And we also need to set UI, damn it. Need to make it editable. Otherwise I can't change this. This is noticeably slower compiling when I'm streaming, which I guess is fair. It is using my CPU to stream. Okay, we give it that widget. Okay, and then essentially now what needs to happen, I'll get rid of these. The scroll box probably needs to be a variable. Response scroll box, and this button's going to need to do something too. Okay, so the way you link those in C++ is you pretty much do, so like U button for example, and then call it the same thing. So I've got it say button, and then U property, and then there's like a meta flag for, I think, bind widget. Yeah. I don't know if, oh no, my N key's messed up. Obviously that needs to be a pointer. Then this, and what was the other one? Use scroll box. The forward declaration. What did I call that one? Response scroll box. Okay, and that should link those together. So now I have the references in here. So pretty much what we want to do is some sort of like on construct, what is it? Native construct. Yeah. This is basically when the widget spawns. Did this succeed, by the way? Just did. So we should be able to see bound widgets. Yeah, you can see the two things are bound properly now, which means I have the references in C++. So what we want to do is basically listen for that button to be clicked. So say button dot on clicked, add dynamic, and I need a function which will be like u dialog screen widget, like say button clicked or something. Can I generate this from here by chance? Yes. I did not know I could do that. That is incredibly helpful. And now we implement that. Actually would prefer that down here though. I think it did that because I had this in that order. Okay, now when the say button's clicked, we basically need to create a new dialog response widget class. So that's widget blueprint library create world class, and what else? Player controller. You know what? Just do it like this. Be quicker. No, that should be fine. What was the problem there? dot get. No, that doesn't make any sense. This is a T subclass of, right? T subclass of, yep. That, the widget. Yeah, widget type. I think it might be. Yeah, because I need to include the header for it and it just wasn't prompting me for it. Okay, so then we have the U dialog response widget. This is the actual initialized one. I wish there was an easier way to do this than casting, but it's fine. And now we just need to add that to the scroll box. So response widget, response scroll box dot add child response widget, and then also we need to actually set the data. So what do I call it? Content, I think. Response content is going to be whatever's in the text field. However, I didn't do a binding for that yet, did I? No. Is it called a text field though? Editable text box. No, I didn't actually want to include. And we called that nothing yet. Input, response input, or message input. And we need for declare. Yep. Cool. We're rocking now. Okay, so now the response content is just going to be whatever's in that input field. That's pretty much it. I should check that string's not empty, but we won't worry about that for now. And the sender message, I mean the name, we'll also worry about that later. Do also though want to do, it's not on this, hang on, it's on the response widget itself. Yeah. We'll just do 0x10y and the padding as well. Cool, so now I should be able to hopefully send messages as long as this binding, yep, binding worked. So actually you don't need to make these variables here. I guess that's just for blueprint. So if I do that, compile it, it still finds the bindings. So yeah, the only thing left is, yeah, let's set up. I think that's everything. So let's see if I can actually say something to them now. Well, I can crash. Where did the crash happen though? Huh? We crashed on assigning a delegate? Or was this just a breakpoint? Oh, it's just a breakpoint, okay. So if I go test and send, it sends twice. This got bound twice. So possibly what I want to be using is initialize then. I believe that's guaranteed to run once. How do I, is there a quick way to... This is the Unreal Engine source code. Native on initialized. Yeah, because our binding has happened twice, which is definitely not what we wanted. I guess this is probably void. Yeah. I'll leave the construct there, I suppose. I guess not. Don't need it for anything, so might as well nuke it. Get our play mode here and recompile. I'm going to need to go pretty soon, but I just want to see if I can get one search term working. Where I can query their knowledge. Okay, build success, good. Now if I go test, we get one message. I need to clear this box as well when you say stuff. And also the padding is way too much. You know, let's just do padding. So yeah, when I say stuff, message input dot set text to nothing. Okay, and that'll clear that out. And now what we need to do is after you've said something and we add it, we now need to query the NPC's knowledge. And I believe we have NPC data, so we can do NPC data dot personal knowledge dot query, and our search term will be yeah, will be this. Okay, like that. Needs the include now, and we can create that function. I guess it would be blueprint callable too, that's fine. And we need to query it, and we need to also actually return a response. This is a lot like networking, actually. NPC response. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Where was I? NPC data. personal knowledge, and then we query it. And pretty much what we need to do is look through the claims. Well, this is how I'm going to do it for now. This isn't actually how I kind of want it to be, but it'll work for now. So the claims is basically every statement that exists as part of their knowledge, which I know sounds pretty abstract, but it's things like a claim would be like, my name is Jade, or, you know, I live in so-and-so village or whatever. So the way I'm going to do this for now is if the claim dot content dot contains this. Why did this get called string? The search term, then return that claims content. And what I actually want to have happen here is this knowledge claim to have the search terms as a separate thing, so you can't just say anything that's in the phrase that they're going to say back and they'll say it to you. It has to be one of the valid search terms. And also this doesn't handle things where the word appears twice, like two claims match. It'll just pick the first one. But yeah. So if that doesn't return, then we need to return I don't know anything about that, or something to that effect. Now what we should have, wait, I shouldn't have compiled just yet, but once we click the button, we get the response. Now we just need to add we basically just need to create a new one. So this is now NPC stuff. The top stuff is player stuff. We need to create a new response widget, which is for the NPC. And at some point we need to add that. And in between, we need to set the content to whatever the NPC said back, which is this. And that should be it, I think. Also, I'm querying their personal knowledge directly. What I want to be doing is querying their total knowledge, which includes their personal knowledge, but also has local knowledge and common knowledge. And if they're in a faction, they might know stuff about that. I'm starting to realize how freaking nerdy this dialogue system is, but okay, so there should be, I can't remember exactly what the things were, but I should be able to say like, what's your name? I don't know anything about that. Okay, what's your name? My name is blah blah blah. Okay, what's your race? My race is Orc. What is your gender? My gender is female. And I could say like, what's your faction? And he doesn't have a faction, so he's like, I don't know anything about that. That is like, in a nutshell, a basic version of what I have been trying to do. Hopefully it makes sense now. But yeah. Hang on one sec. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. I don't know why my webcam does that. But yeah, so there's obviously some flaws here, but like for example, when I said oh wait, is it not printing my it's not printing my messages anymore, which is not ideal. Let me quickly fix that. No, that looks like it should be. So that's the NPC, that's the player response. Don't need to worry about padding. And then this is just because the player. Oh, it's overriding right here. NPC response widget, NPC response widget, there we go. Was overriding it. Yeah. Anyway, that's a basic version of it. One thing is, like, if I say name, he'll tell me what his name is. If I say what is your name, he won't tell me what his name is, because the word, like, it's searching for that whole phrase, what is your name? It's not searching for each kind of part of that. Which is a whole nother thing, but I will get to that. At least this is semi-working now. So if I say name, and he says my name is blah blah blah, and I say what is your name, and he'll go, I don't know anything about that, because this is not getting translated individually. Like, it's not searching for what, then is, then your, then name. It's just searching for this whole string. But it is showing that it is kind of working. I wonder if caps. Yeah, so he doesn't care about caps. That's good. So I can ask this guy what his gender is, and it should be could be different. And it's not a guy, it's a female. Orc, I'm assuming by that name. Not orc. So that's an example of common knowledge. Everyone should basically know what an orc is, but then the race of orcs could have extra knowledge where they know certain things that only orcs would know. For example, is how kind of the knowledge is going to get stacked up. Right now they only have personal knowledge. But yeah, I'm assuming he's orc, yep, and his name, which should match the top. Yep, and we'll check this last guy, just to double check this is working. What's his name? Yep. Male, and race is orc as well. Okay, did we get all orcs there? Yeah, we did. That's not broken again, is it? I'm pretty sure this is a human, based on that name. Yeah. Female? Yeah. It's a female-ish name. Anyway, I need to go to bed. I streamed for an hour longer than I intended, but I did make a lot more progress than I intended also, so yeah, it's going pretty well. I will maybe stream this again if you guys are interested. If not, I'll just work on this in the background. And yeah, the TypeScript game engine stuff will come back at some point. I'm just taking a little bit of a break from it. I kind of burnt out a little bit, if I'm completely honest, on that, but I still have a lot more I want to do. So that definitely will come back in the future. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.